Chapter 3, Late Night Conversations. The streets were quieter now, the kind of quiet that didn't last long in Harlem but felt like a blessing when it did. Street lamps spilled gold across cracked sidewalks, and the faint hum of a passing bus filled the silence between Micah and Josh as they walked. Neither of them had planned this, walking home together after the open mic, but when the bookstore doors closed, and the crowd spilled out in all directions, they found themselves side by side, moving in step like it was the most natural thing in the world. "You've always been this reckless?" Josh asked, shoving his hands deeper into the pocket of his hoodie. Micah raised a brow. "Reckless?" "Yeah." He glanced at her, a smirk tugging at his mouth. "Steppin' up like that, trying to outshine me in front of a crowd." She laughed softly. "If speaking my truth is reckless, then yeah, I guess I am." Josh shook his head, chuckling under his breath. "Truth, huh? That's what you call it?" "It's exactly what it is," she said, her voice firm. "I don't write to impress. I write because if I don't, I'll drown." He stopped walking for a second, her words settling heavy between them. When she noticed he'd fallen behind, she turned, tilting her head. "What?" Josh exhaled slowly. "I know that feeling." And there it was, just a flicker, a glimpse of the man behind Dirty Red, the one who carried stories deeper than rhymes and beats. They resumed walking, but the air between them had shifted. They turned down 125th, passing shuttered storefronts and glowing neon signs still buzzing over late-night pizza joints. A group of kids skateboarded past, laughter trailing behind them. "So," Micah said, breaking the silence, "Dirty Red. Where'd that come from?" Josh grinned. "You really want to know?" "Wouldn't ask if I didn't." He rubbed his jaw. "Started as a joke. My boy used to clown me 'cause I'd come to the court looking dusty, red hoodie every day, same one. He started calling me Dirty Red, and it stuck. Then I put it on the mic one night, and people remembered it. Branding, you know." Micah smirked. "So, basically, your whole stage identity started because you didn't like doing laundry." Josh laughed, loud and genuine, the sound echoing down the block. "Damn, you got jokes." "I'm just saying," she teased. "Not very intimidating origins." "Yeah, well," he said, his grin fading into something softer, "names change meanings. That hoodie was all I had back then. Being Dirty Red was better than being invisible." Her chest tightened, the weight of his words settling. He said it casually, but she could hear the ache underneath. "You're not invisible now," she said quietly. He glanced at her, eyes catching the streetlight. "Nah. But sometimes I wonder if people see me or just the stage name." Micah didn't answer right away. She understood that feeling more than she wanted to admit, being seen for what people expected instead of who you really was. They reached a crosswalk. The city was quieter here, buildings looming like shadows, the occasional taxi slicing through the stillness. "Why poetry?" Josh asked suddenly. Micah blinked. "Why not? I mean, you could have been anything. Lawyer. Teacher. Doctor. But you stand on a stage with a notebook instead. Why?" She exhaled, hugging her jacket closer. "Because poetry listens when no one else does. When I was younger, my parents fought all the time. Nobody wanted to hear a kid talk about how it felt. But a blank page? It never interrupted me. Never told me I was too sensitive. Poetry saved me." Josh nodded slowly, the respect in his eyes unspoken but clear. "Guess we ain't that different," he said after a pause. "You write to survive. I rap to survive." Their footsteps echoed as they crossed the street. "Exactly," she murmured. "Two verses of the same song." Josh's lips curved into a small smile. "Told you you'd see it." By the time they reached Micah's block, the night had slipped deeper into stillness. Her building loomed ahead, red brick washed in the glow of a flickering lamppost. She stopped at the steps, turning to him. "Well, This is me. Josh shifted, suddenly looking less sure of himself than he ever had on stage. You good? Walking alone up? She smiled faintly. I've been walking myself up for years, Josh. I'll be fine. He nodded but lingered, like he didn't want the night to end just yet. Hey, he cleared his throat. You think maybe next time, instead of trading shots on stage, we could just talk? Like this? Micah tilted her head. Are you saying you're scared to lose another lyrical battle? Josh laughed, shaking his head. Nah. He stopped, searching her face. I like talking to you. The honesty in his tone caught her off guard. For all his bravado, for all the swagger that came with Dirty Red, this moment felt unmasked. She found herself smiling before she could stop it. Yeah. I like talking to you, too. They stood there, neither moving, caught in the strange quiet that comes before a goodbye you don't want to make. Finally, Josh stepped back, his grin returning. All right, poet girl. Don't stay up too late writing about me. Micah rolled her eyes, but her cheeks warmed. Don't flatter yourself. He chuckled, backing away down the sidewalk. See you around, Micah. She watched him go until the night swallowed him. Then, with her heart beating louder than it should, she climbed the steps to her apartment, clutching her notebook like it held secrets she wasn't ready to write yet. Upstairs, in the quiet of her room, she sat by the window, city lights blinking in the distance. She flipped open her notebook, pen hovering over the page. Instead of poetry, she found herself writing a name. Josh. She stared at it, then crossed it out, then wrote it again. She shook her head, laughing at herself. This was ridiculous. She had classes, deadlines, and responsibilities. The last thing she needed was a distraction. Especially one wrapped in a red hoodie and a stage name. But as her pen moved, words poured out anyway. Some people don't walk into your life. They crash in like a verse you weren't ready to hear, but somehow needed. She set the pen down, closing the notebook with a sigh. Down the block, Josh sat on the stoop outside Dre's building, earbuds in, beat machine on his lap. But he wasn't working on a track. Not really. He was replaying her voice in his head, every word, every pause, every truth. And for the first time in a long time, he wasn't just thinking about music. He was thinking about what it would mean to let someone see the man behind Dirty Red. Someone like her.